do they have? What's the importance of upcoming tournaments, etc., or competitions that they have? But that question, I'm sure, is because most athletes these days aren't recovering enough, and that's absolutely the truth. And that's one thing that we try to put together at our center that's important is the recovery periods.
You mentioned your center in the last answer. What would you say differs your training facility from a normal gym facility that we would have at Ottawa U?
Well, first of all, is that we're connected with a medical clinic, so we have a strong medical background and understanding that we're gonna push athletes, but not to the point that we're going to injure them down the road, 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Secondly, all the movements are functional, so if you come into the center, that you don't see exercises where people are going to be sitting down and training. They're going to be standing up. They're going to be doing functional exercises like you'd see them in their sport. So the important part is that we keep things functional. And it's probably an overused word these days, but it is important to understand how the body moves and then make it move that same way in a gym setting.
Of course, Ayurvedic medicine is important, but if I could change it all, I would be a strength and conditioning coach. Athletes today are more in tune with their bodies, thus performing and understanding more functional exercises that would benefit the athlete's overall well-being in terms of strength, power, endurance and injury prevention.
इंटरवेंशन में यूज़ कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जो कहते हैं स्ट्रेंथ कंडीशनिंग वो आयुर्वेदिक से कहीं अच्छी है। तो हम एक पेड़ और जब वो पेड़ को काट दिया तो पेड़ को पेपर में बना, इस तरह के पेपर
Yes, Ayurvedic is important, but nothing beats a good strength and conditioning coach. It is so cosmic. It is so, how you say, cool.
Do you have to do a lot of work to keep up with the new technologies and advancements in the training and sports and conditioning field?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we always say when we give talks that what we say now may change a year or two from now. It may not be true because the science is accumulating. We're getting more data. We're doing more research than we've ever done in this field. And it is always changing. However, sometimes it's reverting back to old principles that we've known forever. So, and in saying some strength coaches, everybody has different philosophies, and some things that work for some people that haven't. And I think the important thing is to not what's worked for you, but what's worked for that individual athlete. That's important. So, but science has changed, and it's a whole new world out there in terms of strength and conditioning.
Awesome. So Chris, what is the most gratifying part of your work in terms of training athletes and seeing them progress?
Probably the most gratifying is following an athlete over a certain many years, and you start with an athlete, you see them at a young age, and then all of a sudden they're developing. Could be they develop and get drafted into the OHL or NHL, or become a university volleyball player. It could be anything. It's the gratitude of seeing them get better, and it doesn't really matter at what level. It doesn't need to be the elite athlete, and that's the important thing about being a strength coach, is knowing that you're doing it to make somebody else better and not just yourself getting off on your own ego.
Thanks a lot for taking time out, Chris, and we appreciate everything you've done.
And that concludes our program for today.
Thanks for stopping by, and you stay classy, APA 3132.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
How can you help someone overcome the fear of injury while... No, hold on. How can you help someone reach their potential... How can you help someone... off. Who has a... Okay.
We have an exclusive interview with Chris Schwartz from the Center for Performance... something. You know, athletes. Sorry.
What is the time frame that it takes an athlete to... What is the time frame it takes an athlete for him or her to reach a potential... Not potential. It takes for an athlete to reach optimal level of competition. No.
जड़ी बूटियों को इस्तेमाल से
How may I help you, my darling? No? No, just put the roast in the microwave. It'll eat up like that. Do it, then, Joanne.
Finally, Chris, what do you think that new and finally, Chris, do you believe that it takes finally, Chris, do you think that it no. Okay.
Take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got. Not much of a girlfriend. I never seem to get a lot.
It's been some time since we last spoke. This is gonna sound like a bad joke, but mama, I fell in love again.